Hey guys, and welcome back to Anzo. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the World Baseball Classic and how exciting it's really been. If you've kept up with at least any of the games, it definitely has that World Cup type of vibe. You look at Japan rooting for Ohtani getting more than like 2 million followers on Instagram alone just because of the World Baseball Classic, having like 60% of all households in like Japan watching. And it goes to show just how powerful the World Baseball Classic is and how much respect it really deserves. Though, even though it's bringing a lot of attention to the game of baseball, which is always a great thing, it also has its downsides, whether it's the injuries that a lot of people have been complaining about, especially Mets fans. When you look at Edwin Diaz, their closer that they newly signed to like a $100 million contract. Unfortunately, he did get injured, and not in the typical way that you would imagine. It was just through celebration, which is the worst. And not only that, we also saw Venezuela's Jose Altuve get injured, get hit by a pitch, and hurt his thumb and fractured it. And so he's going to be out for 8 to 12 weeks or so, something like that. And that's not good for the Astros. For other teams, you guys are probably like, let's go. But unfortunately, you never want to see an injury or anything like that, no matter the player. But I mean, it is the Astros. Whatever advantage you can get against them, you're going to take it. But going back to the point of the WBC, at the end of the day, you do have injuries. We also saw Nolan Arenado get hit in the wrist or in the hand. Fortunately, it was just negative, the x-rays and things like that, so nothing to worry about there. But injuries are a huge topic when it comes to the World Baseball Classic, and it's one of those things that I'm interested to see what you guys think. Do you think the pros weigh out the cons, the injuries, and all that stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. For me personally, I like the World Baseball Classic. You can get injured in anything you do in this life. Obviously, you've seen Aaron Boone, our Yankees manager, get injured just by playing basketball or whatever he did, and that's how we ended up getting A-Rod and all that stuff. But things can happen outside of the baseball field, even in spring training alone. Injuries do happen, so that's not that crazy to think of. Not only that, but I hear that there's also insurance on these players, that even Steve Cohen won't have to pay that $20+ million to Edwin Diaz this year, and that the insurance will actually cover it because the injury was in the World Baseball Classic. Really, I'm sure Steve Cohen would trade in that money any day to have that closer. And not only that, but the World Baseball Classic is creating heroes in the sense of Trea Turner hitting a grand salami to basically help the U.S. overcome Venezuela and win in advance. And that was pretty crazy to see and really epic, to say the least. And even Trea Turner himself said, hey, like, this was bigger than the World Series for me, bigger than any other moment you can think of. And you got to think, Trea Turner, he's been in some of those big moments in baseball, the World Series. Yet he sees this as the loudest time ever in his career that he's heard the crowd and everything. It's different when you have countries and people's pride for their countries yelling and screaming out there in the stands. Not to mention, Miami is such a great place to host the World Baseball Classic. I feel like in Florida or in that area, it's easy to travel to, one, for other countries. I think it's a perfect spot. Hopefully they keep it going forward, but probably with everything that was going on with the Cuba and politics and all this stuff, it's probably not going to stick around in Florida or in Miami. They'll probably change the location. I really enjoyed it. And seeing all those crowds, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, it has a huge Latino influence in that area. And so I would love to see it going forward because of how loud it gets and how much energy you just see, just even watching it on TV. Now, the USA is actually in the finals, and we get to see them play on Tuesday, tomorrow. And today, though, we get to see Japan versus Mexico, which is a great matchup. You have a great story from Randy Arozarena, who is actually Cuban, but actually pleaded to the Mexican president that, hey, he wants to be a Mexican citizen in order to play. And the president of Mexico said, yeah, let's do it. And that's how Randy Arozarena actually, instead of representing Cuba, which he defected from and all this stuff, and it was really hard, and that whole story, he ended up representing Mexico, who actually took him in and allowed him to play baseball there. And so that's really how he got his career started. And so it's really interesting to see Arozarena basically put that team on his back and bring them to the quarterfinals. And then not only that, you have Japan that Mexico is going to be facing. And obviously, Ohtani is the big name there. And you're going to want to see that matchup right there because both countries have been electric. Not to mention Japan has been crazy off the books. They are a monster team. And so I'm going to be rooting for Japan to come on through and, have that Ohtani Trout matchup in the finals with USA versus Japan. But let me know what you guys want. For me in general, either story is really, really good. Seeing Randy Arozarena coming on through and possibly defeating Japan, that would be epic. And then going to the finals, and then we'll see what happens there. But let me know your best predictions down below. For me in general, it'll be cool to see USA win, but I'm also rooting for that underdog story. Why not have a Japan? Why not have Randy Arozarena? All the storylines work. I'm just a fan of baseball at the end of the day, really. And the Yankee season hasn't started, so I can't really root for who I want to root for, if you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.